The Confederation of Young Entrepreneurs Ghana invites you to its maiden conference under the theme, Achieving Economic Stability Through Young Enterprises Support.
Start with you. All of us here are young people. In this economy and the way the world is shaping, we have to take the bull by the horn and make sure that we're getting things done in terms of business-wise. But if you speak to all of us here, one thing that comes up is, where is the money? How do I find it?
So, the money is there. I think that, one of the panelists talked about the fact that the thing that should not scare us is the money. Based on my experience and based on interactions I've had with various entrepreneurs, I think that people approach the money issue wrongly. And let me tell you why. If I have money and somebody approaches me and says that, look, can you put money into this venture and everything? The first thing I ask myself is, what have you done? You understand it? Most of the time, people go cupping ups. Oh, I have an idea. I want to start. Can you help me? So when you approach somebody and you ask the person to fund something, people have doubts. There are several cases of people giving monies, people voting monies into a project, and they only go and come back to see that the people use the money from the wrong thing, from the beginning and co. If you look at it even from the country level, you understand it. You've read and you hear of so many cases of various countries where various donor governments have given them money, and the money has ended up elsewhere. So typically, if you approach somebody for money, even for the banks and even for individuals and co, you approach for the money, the first thing they would like to be sure of is, am I sure you use the money for the intended purpose? Am I sure your credibility is good? Because the business plan may look good, but if the credibility of the person is not good, because if I give you money now, the reason why you use it for it is because you are committed to it, and the commitment is not written on your face. You understand? So typically, what many people should do first of all is start something. You understand? So it is easier to say, look, I've started this particular thing. I've been able to do a little. This is the plan that I have. Can you give me money so that the little you have done becomes your test case, where people look at what you have done? Because if you are honest in little, you'll be honest in much. You understand? Those who have not been honest, you can see from the beginning and go. So the key thing I would say is that start off something. It may be small, but start off something. Show that commitment in there. Have your business plan. Approach people, and then they'll be able to fund that. But clearly, the money is there. Maybe along the line in this conversation, we would look at other things around the money. How much you need to ask for, what you need to look out for, the cost, the risk, and all of it. But I believe that during the course of the discussions, we'll look at it. But really, to start the money conversation, this is where I will pitch that from.
But let's continue on where you ended about, starting something and then talking about how much you need. For example, a young person starts a business by selling off rice, and then he does it and gets more customers. But averagely, he's doing $500 a month because a company gives to him, he sells and pays back. Then the market grows, he needs more. The request that is coming is like $3,000. He needs around 700,000 cedis. He doesn't have it. How does he approach this?
Okay. So, it is not only going to ask for the money, but build a capacity. So, for example, when you go to financial institutions for loans or overdrafts or whatever and everything, one of the things they look at is, among other things, they ask you for your key management profile. You understand it? Because it is not only about you, the person, but it's about the people around you. I have interacted with and I've helped a few people who had a business idea, they were doing something, they needed like key technical people, because these are people I was helping on the side. And the guy asked me, look, can he put my name as as like a key resource. I'm not a director, I'm nothing. I'm just somebody who I just help me. Can you put my name as that with my profile? And I said yes. You understand? So you need that. So again, back to your issue. You've done it at a particular level. You want to grow. Go and approach them, but show how, because to do that at that small level, you began from zero. So whatever model you use to go that level, the only thing is you cannot do it small, because it will take a very long time. So whatever principles you used, and I think somebody talked about that, about documentation. Document it. Show that, look, this is the model I did to get to this particular level. That will be your leverage, and that will be your trump card to show that, look, if I can do it at this small level, give me that, I'll be able to do that. But surround yourself. I mean, get key resource people to help you. Get an accountant. I mean, I'm an accountant, so maybe you say, but get an accountant. You understand it? Get an accountant. You may not necessarily need to employ a person. And I keep saying that, and I was happy the lawyer made a point about they trying to do things pro bono for SMEs. You understand it? Get an accountant, get a lawyer, get somebody, people who you can contact, they will help you, you understand? And then based on that, you can then know that, look, if I've been able to play at this particular level and I would like to grow, based on advice and everything, you approach somebody to fund you for that. They will be able to help you. And then you can easily move from the level that you are to another level, and then you continue from that level.
Interesting. I'm sure we are picking certain things here. Let me shift to Mr. Adesinya. You have experience in entrepreneurship. I'm sure when you were starting, you met certain hurdles, certain challenges. A lot of us young people, like we're saying, finance is one of them. Our boss is now teaching us how to cross that. Now, when you start, aside money, what are some of the critical hurdles that comes? And how should we then overcome those hurdles?
Okay, that's a very good question. I have many hurdles, some of which you won't face. I did my business plan when I was in the UK, thinking I know Nigeria very well. Immediately I landed at the airport, I realized it became obsolete straight away, because all the assumptions that I put in place was wrong. Two, a good case in point, I've forgotten in Nigeria that we don't have electricity like you guys do. So in my calculation, I said, okay, I'm going to allocate 50,000 naira to pay my bills. And if you don't know what you're enjoying in Ghana, if you're using generator to get the power supply that you are getting, you'll be paying about 3 or 4 times what you are paying. So immediately I realized that you need to be on the ground to know. The second thing I realized is the skill. I did animal health and husbandry by first degree, but I've not practiced for 30 years. So I thought when I arrived in Nigeria, all my colleagues who are professors and doctors who are around will help me. But suddenly I discovered that they've spent all their time in academics. There's nothing wrong in it, somebody has to teach somebody. But I wanted to be a farmer, I wanted to be on the farm. So I discovered that the skill is missing. When I call the young graduates, when I try to train them, especially people that have degrees, when I teach them something, they will do it for 2 or 3 weeks, then they will change to what they learned in college. And I discovered that what they learned in college are things I learned when I was in college, but things that move on from there. So I ended up spending, after a year, I stopped recruiting, and I'm saying this not to them, I know I'm in the campus, I stopped recruiting graduates and started taking on OND and HND. And the reason why I could do that was that because they don't have a degree, they are more attentive to correction. The thing is that, please don't let your degree, always use your degree to your advantage. Be hungry to learn. Don't think because you've got a degree, you can't do some certain things. Let your degree be, nobody's going to take that degree from you, but keep on learning and keep on developing. So I have skill shortage. I have to work on the farm myself. And that helped me a lot because I was able to build up the skill again. So I'm now able to train my staff. Instead of depending on people to come and train my staff or sending them to the train. And that's why I ended up being a trainer. So skill is one thing. Please build your skill. Whatever you learn, things become obsolete very quickly in this world that we are in. You have access to internet. I'm sure that when we're in the university, you don't have access to correct information. That's the problem. We don't have access to current information. Everything they taught us about 20 years ago. For example, I was telling somebody that I was learning in 1989. I was learning that atom is the indivisible part. They've broken atom. They've broken everything I learned. Everything I learned as I was going and putting in there. So it's many industries. So go and learn. There's opportunity for you to learn and study. Be the best in your game. And skill is going to be a challenging one because we're going to need a lot of people that are adaptable to skill as well. If you study, I studied animal health. I never do animal health throughout my 30 years in the UK. The minute I learned, I realized that they have enough animal, they don't need animal production. So I went to another industry. And when that changes again, I changed. Up to 2 years ago, I was doing another master's. Because I studied that things are changing. So don't let your degree be something that hold you down. And you just keep on studying, keep on learning, and keep on developing yourself. You'll see the reward very soon.
So keep learning. You never stop learning. But there's also this bit for young entrepreneurs, the fear of failure. When you were coming from UK to Nigeria, I'm sure you didn't know you would meet what you meant. How do we face this fear that I may fail? So I would never say that. I would wait for the right time.
Okay.